Okay, we got to talk about the worst foods that will lead to dementia. And there are foods that are in your supermarket every single day. And dementia, just so we're really clear, this is becoming a more popular topic because more people are affected by it. And it's because of the crap that they are allowing to be in grocery stores that are causing us to not only become inflamed, not only become obese, but are now affecting our brain from a cognitive level. And also these foods have hijacked our taste buds and have us food addicted. So on this video, I want to talk about a current meta-analysis. It's a 2024 meta-analysis where they looked at the connection between diet and dementia, and the findings will rock you. I want to talk about what ultra-processed foods are leading to dementia, and I want to talk about what you can replace them with. But first, let's talk about what's happening with ultra-processed foods and dementia. So let's dive in. And this, by the way, is one of those videos that you're going to want to send to maybe an elderly parent that has dementia or somebody who is worried about dementia. Send this video out. I can tell you right now, Dad, if you're listening to this video, yes, we are sending you to this video because we need you to hear this. Ready? Okay, so here we go. Here's what the 2024 meta-analysis said, is that for every 10% increase in an ultra-processed food, the risk of dementia went up by 14%. So for every increase in potato chips, I'm going to go through these in a moment, in soda, in white bread, hot dogs, for every 10% increase of your diet in these toxic foods, you have a 14% increase of getting dementia. Now let's break this down. So this is really good. I love so you can see this. If you eat the standard diet of 2,000 calories a day, just 400 of those calories coming from processed foods. So that is about a slice and a half of pizza. And you would increase your risk of dementia by 28%. From one slice and a half of pizza, every single day, you increase your chance of dementia by 28%. Now, it's not just pizza. It's potato chips. It is these highly processed, chemicalized hot dogs. It is white bread. It is cereal, Dad. It's cereal. The cereal you're having for breakfast. The cereal with the orange juice for breakfast that we think is healthy is causing dementia. So we have to, this is another one. Things like our salad dressings and ketchups. These are ultra-processed foods that have so many chemicals in it, have so much sugar in it, that it is literally affecting our cognitive brain. So, and by a large amount, 28%, if just 400 of your calories every day comes from this crap, that affects how you think. There is no worthy exchange. There is no delight in a potato chip that would allow me to lose my cognitive abilities by 28%. Here's another thing, a way of looking at this, is that the authors of this meta-analysis, they estimated that for every 50 grams of processed foods, if you replace with unprocessed foods, you would reduce your risk of dementia by 3%. So 50 grams, by the way, is an apple. It's also 20 cashews, or it's 1 egg. So let's say, some of you might be surprised to see that we have a juice, naked juice in here, because a lot of these juices have high packed with sugar, processed, pasteurized orange juice, and they just spike your blood sugar. So if you were to replace this every day, and maybe you do an egg, or maybe you take your breakfast sausage that has nitrites in it and you replace that with an egg. Maybe you take your juice and instead of drinking the juice, you actually have the actual fruit itself. Then now you have lowered your chances of dementia by 3%. I cannot emphasize this enough. I know these might be your favorite food, but they are causing cognitive decline and they are causing obesity, and this has to stop. So here's the thing. I always say that this may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. So what do we do about it? Well, the first thing we know, by the way, is that these foods increase your blood pressure. And when blood pressure goes up, yes, we can increase cognitive decline. So yes, you go on a blood pressure medication, but that doesn't help the systemic inflammation that's happening from these toxic foods. And that systemic inflammation, that inflammation on your brain, actually is one of those things that causes these tau protein tangles that affect Alzheimer's. So the first step is get this out of your house. I'm sorry to swear, but I'm mad, and I know my dad's listening right now, and I know he's listening and he's laughing at the same time, but Dad, I'm talking to you. So let's get this out. Let's get the Cokes out, the Coke Zero, the Diet Cokes, also chemical laden. Let's get them out so we can get cognitive health back to you and your loved ones. Then let's load up our diet with things like lots of vegetables. They're full of fiber. Fiber will help make sure that your glucose doesn't get too high. So think lots of fiber. Let's think lots of healthy fats. So this is your olive oils and your avocado oils and your grass-fed butter. I know for somebody who's been using margarine, which also is an ultra-processed food, it's maybe a far cry to go into grass-fed butter, but we've got to look at going back to the real authentic food. Get out of your grocery store. Go to your farmer's market. The grocery store is where the more mainstream grocery stores is where all of this crap lives. So we also know, check this out. I'm such a fan of the keto diet. And I know the keto diet has kind of come and gone, and there's been some people who say, well, I want my carbs, have nature's carbs. The keto diet is a healing diet. It will help you lose weight. It will help you lose body fat. It will bring your blood sugar down, and it will help dementia. So if you don't believe me, let me tell you a beautiful study. A 2022 study found that the keto diet reduced brain inflammation and lowered the risk of neurodegenerative disease in aging people with the signs of early dementia. There was a study that was done before that, 2016 study, found that ketones. So remember, when you go into this keto diet, you're actually switching over into another fuel source. You're switching over into your fat-burning fuel source. And when you sit over there, or you hang out over there, and you make ketones, that these ketones actually act as an alternative fuel for your aging brain cells. So this is something, especially for the women listening. As you age, when you go through menopause, this brain inside your skull is less receptive to glucose. So the diet that you ate at 40 and 30 is affecting your brain incredibly different in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s because your menopausal brain isn't as receptive to glucose. Go listen to the beautiful podcast interview I did with Lisa Mosconi. She's the #1 female brain expert. It's on the Resetter podcast. We'll leave it as a link in here. And she talks specifically about how we become less sensitive to glucose. So we have to, as we age, we have to rely on ketones. And you're not getting any ketones when you eat this ultra-processed foods. So the best way to get ketones is to build a fasting lifestyle. And I've explained this in this study, is that it talks a lot about how brain cells, as they age, they don't know what to do with glucose, but they do know what to do with ketones. So if we take an elderly person, let me give you something you can actually do and put into action right now. After this video, tomorrow, when you wake up, here's what you're going to do. Is you're not going to eat first thing in the morning. you're going to push back your breakfast about an hour. It may be hard, but in that metabolic switch, what you're doing is that you're asking your body to go over and start to make ketones, burn fat and make ketones. That's a really beautiful fuel source for your brain. Then when you eat your breakfast, you're not eating cereal and you're not drinking orange juice and you're not eating oatmeal. You're not eating these highly processed foods. Have some scrambled eggs. Have some bacon without all the chemicals in them, like a nitrate-free bacon. And have a protein shake without juice in it. Like maybe you have it with raw kefir, or maybe you even have it with, some kind of plant-based milk that's not ultra-processed. So you're going to have a good breakfast an hour afterwards. And then throughout your day, you're going to focus on 2 foods specifically. Lots of vegetables, because they have all kinds of fiber. If you get a sweet tooth, you could maybe throw in some fruit, and protein. You're going to eat tons of protein, and you're going to put the bread, the crackers, you're going to get off the Cokes, even the Diet Cokes and the Coke Zero, and you're going to put those away, and you're going to eat mostly protein, vegetables, and a little bit of fruit, and that's what you're going to eat for the day. And what I would like you to challenge you on is that you do that every day. Just push your breakfast back, and you do that every single day for a week, and then see how this works. See how this changes. Now, I also want to say that one of the most dangerous times for this kind of stuff isn't just breakfast, it's often at night. So what you eat, it's your brain is actually healing when you sleep. So remember, it'll detoxify itself. So if you're eating a bunch of these ultra-processed foods before you go to bed, a lot of people are just mindlessly eating as they're watching TV. Now you go to bed and your brain is trying to clean up the mess that you created in that last meal. If you wake up in the morning and you're hungry and pushing your breakfast back an hour is really hard, then know that you got to work with not eating these at night as well. Okay, check this out. I have a free fasting guide for you all. It's free, and it's going to teach you all the basics of fasting. It's going to teach you how to kill hunger when you fast, which is really cool, and it's going to show you how to break your fast, among many other things. All you got to do is click on this link right here and enjoy. So when we start to create this fasting lifestyle, we pull the ultra-processed foods out. In the beginning, it can be hard, I know. But you know what's harder? Is dementia, is cognitive decline. Now, you might not notice it, depending how far along you go, but your loved ones care. So this stuff was made to keep you addicted to it. It is not food, even though it's in the grocery store. It is a toxin. So when you pick this up, I want you to say to yourself, I am toxifying myself. And then look at what nature provided. Nature provided us animal meat. Nature provided us lots of plant-based foods that are high in protein. Let's go back to real food and attach some short fasting windows, like 12, 13 hours onto that. And now you're in the ballpark of creating a healthy brain. So this is really important because we have a tendency to think that food doesn't affect our mind, but it does. And I hope this video shows you. If you're like, well, I don't know what food to eat, I've got, for my gals out there, I've got a book coming to you. Eat Like a Girl is a companion manual for Fast Like a Girl. The two together will show you how to eat to not only burn fat and balance hormones, but to overcome dementia. Both Eat Like a Girl is out for pre-order, and depending on when you're watching this, and Fast Like a Girl is out available. But this stuff is killing us, and it is killing the neurons in your brain. And it matters not only to you, and this is what I really want to say about dementia, is that it matters not only to you, but it matters to the people that love you. So getting over the addiction of this takes a little bit of time, but I promise you, as your brain comes back online, you will get momentum. And when you have momentum with your health, these changes become easier and easier and easier. So pass this on to anybody you know that has dementia. I apologize for swearing, but I'm really passionate about this because I'm really tired of big food creating all these health problems in our culture, and then big pharma coming in behind it and trying to create solutions for the chronic diseases. And as you heard in here, Dad, I love you, And I want your brain to be the brain that I know it can be. And it matters to all of us. So with that in mind, please pass this on. If you have someone you love that you know can benefit from this video, please pass it on to them. As always, I hope that helps. Okay, if you loved this video, you're going to want to check out the next video of my food series. On this video, want to talk about the healthy foods that you might be eating that will stop you from a long and healthy life.